Okay, same deal here with the double click event. Very similar to the selection change. We're just going to kind of rush through this a little bit. I'm going to show you. I'm going to zoom in, control scroll wheel here. Basically what we wanted to happen is whenever I double click on this, instead of it doing that, I want it to do a message box. It says, hey, you double clicked on the right cell or something like that. So Alt F11. We've got sheet 6 selected. We're going to go to Worksheet and we're going to go to Before DoubleClick. And so what we've got here is we've got a little bit something new here. We have the good old target, which is a range. We know that's the cell that we're clicking on. Cancel is a new thing. Cancel is Boolean. Boolean means it's either true or false. So cancel equals true or cancel equals false. Now the cancel part, that's whether or not the default action when you double click happens, which is, I guess, you enter the cell and begin editing the cell. So if cancel equals true, then you won't have to experience that little editing cell sequence. And if cancel equals false, then it'll go back to the normal sequence. So let's go ahead and do this thing that we do with target. We're going to say if target.address, and then we're going to use 0, 0 in parentheses. That gives us the no $ version of the address. If that equals C3, then tab, shift tab, end if. So I'm just making it future ready here. We have the end if now. So if the target address is C3 that we've double clicked on to trigger it, then message box, you double clicked C3. Very simple, very simple. But you can do a lot more than that. So if I double click here, it does nothing. If I double click here, it says you double click C3, but when I hit OK, it's gone into this edit mode. So what about disabling that? Well, you just say cancel equals true, and that cancels the default little thing where I'm stuck in this little cell here. So let's right click and go back into view code, and now after the message we're going to say cancel equals T for true and hit tab. So now let's trigger that one more time. Double click here, boring. Double click here, it says you double click cell C3 and I hit OK, and I am no longer within edit mode of that cell. So that's pretty cool, right? Cancel equals true. So that cancels the default double click method. Now we're going to talk about a right click method, very similar code.